Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today we are watching Miho 11 in his Iowa, a tier 9 US battleship. He's on the map Atlantic, and it's a standard battle. Now it's a tier 9 game, and he's platooned with the torpedoes. When we look at the teams, yeah, they do have a destroyer advantage, but they have less cruisers, they have the lower battleships. We shall see how it turns out. Now I got this replay from wowreplays.com, and I will put a link in the video description. The Iowa is certainly a beautiful ship, and I've heard a lot of good things about her. But I don't have an Iowa myself, unfortunately. I'm still only at tier 6 when it comes to US battleships. Now I'm guessing in this game a lot will come down to they can use the destroyer advantage. And hey, the first hit was a Citadel. That's nice. Now the friendly team has one destroyer up here in the north who is scouting. They have one here in the middle, which is great, and one going probably somewhere down here, so pretty nice spread of the friendly destroyers. The carrier, well, let's see how it goes. It'd probably be best if he follows his team. He's sending his planes down here. He'll probably try to go along the zone wall and maybe find the enemy carrier. Not a friendly destroyer. Unfortunately, he has found an enemy destroyer and he's kind of cut off. This is a pretty bad position because he doesn't really have a way to retreat. He's probably popped smoke now because we don't see the destroyer anymore. But that's just a temporary measure. He won't get any support and he's caught out alone. It's not looking good for this poor guy. Now this destroyer is probably soon getting spotted by planes, so he will be forced to retreat unless he gets air cover from friendly planes. And yeah, a carrier can really harm a destroyer, I guess, just by spotting him. Because you really rely on not being seen. Now the majority of the friendly force is somewhere down here. And there are a lot of enemies here, so there is probably going to be a big battle. But it seems that a few enemies might be going to the north. This destroyer here was lost. Which isn't great, because the destroyers are really the only advantage they have. And yeah, all those ships are sailing broadside on, yeah, which isn't the best. Now Miho was kind of doing the same, but he's now turning away. Probably wants to get his ship angled, and also he might not want to push into this group of I mean, they have the numerical advantage. So technically, I guess they could just take all of this force and drive down here and try to crush those in. Problem is, the north is kind of open. This destroyer here is still getting spotted. He can't do much, but we know that there are some ships pushing here in the north. And there's really only this cruiser and this destroyer here to defend. They might not be enough. So this force here could push down here, but they have to be careful. If you take all of your ships here down into this corner, then nobody can defend the cap and you might just lose. So I guess it's staying right here and engaging those ships might be a decent choice, because it gives you the option to retreat. And the carrier is realizing that there might be danger and is joining the main force down here. I'm feeling really sorry for this poor destroyer. He really can't do anything. As soon as he tries to make an aggressive move, he will get destroyed. And what this guy really needs is anti-air cover. So he should probably try to meet up with this cruiser in order to get make use of the anti-air. And he might also call for help, I guess, in chat. I mean, the friendly carrier could also send planes down here and help. Because unless he can get rid of these planes, this destroyer can't really do much. Now it also seems a friendly destroyer is trying to ambush this force down here, using this island to sneak up behind them. And probably, I mean, if you're a battleship down here, you probably aren't expecting torpedoes from behind. You're expecting a destroyer to be in front of you. So he might be able to catch some of them off guard. But we shall see how this turns out. Yeah, I mean, when you look at this position down here, it still looks really tempting to just take this force and push in. And if I'd been in this position, I'd probably be tempted to do something like that. But yeah, said earlier, they now have even spotted someone here in the north, and they really have to be careful. There are only like 4 ships down here, so there is a lot of enemies that are unaccounted for. And they might all just be converging towards this point. And I guess Miho is probably already thinking about defending because he is somewhat driving back home. And yeah, there is an enemy in the cap. It might be the enemy destroyer. We know that there is some cruiser backup. This destroyer still is not really in a position to do something about it because he's just constantly spotted by planes probably. I mean, maybe the planes are far enough away by now that he isn't spotted anymore, but as soon as he tries to go in there, his cruiser, well, I guess he's realizing he's outnumbered. He's probably just biding time and hoping that reinforcements will arrive, because if he goes in there right now, he's well outnumbered and probably would just die. I mean, depending on how far this cap goes, he might be forced to go in there if reinforcements aren't there in time. And yeah, this poor destroyer now, might even get backed by planes. I've been in situations like this, so that's probably why I feel so sorry for this guy. Because you feel so utterly helpless. Yeah. Now, thankfully somebody managed a reset and nearly almost all of the friendly team are now going to defend. And that's just great. I mean, it really paid off that they didn't push in, and now they all just ignore those ships down here and say, okay, we gotta clean up our own cap. And we just take everyone, no sense in splitting our force right now. Now also those ships, now it depends on what the enemies are doing. They really have to push in here and support their own ships. It's a bit the risk of the enemy's tactics, I guess. I mean, they were already really far in capping, and they are now sitting inside the cap, but Miho's team never really moved too far away. They were always in a position to defend. And now those guys are pretty much outnumbered. And they really need reinforcements from down here, but yes, those battleships just aren't willing to commit down here, but it's what they really need to do. I mean, Miho's team would still be somewhat in a crossfire. If these battleships would be aggressively pushing here, it could put a lot of pressure on this group. Yeah, New Orleans is going down. Miho's team is now already in the lead by 2 ships. And it's not looking really good for those ships. And those reinforcements down there, I mean, if they are coming, they are far too late. Now the friendly carrier stayed down here. I'm not exactly sure why. He should probably move with the group, but there is one battleship still defending him, and this battleship is probably engaging this cruiser, so this carrier might still be safe. And there you go, Miho's first kill. And I also think this friendly destroyer, poor guy spotted by planes here, but he's doing a great job with his position here generally, because he's delaying those reinforcements. If he can just fire some torpedoes down here, those ships will probably get scared and might not be willing to push. And if he can just delay those reinforcements, I mean, by now they have cleared up here. Those battleships didn't arrive nearly in time. Maybe they were just scared of pushing in there. Maybe they didn't realize that what they needed to do. But now this looks already great. They are in a huge lead. This destroyer unfortunately died. But he probably did a good job in delaying those forces. I'm not sure how this battle down there is going exactly, but I'm guessing the battleship has a decent chance of killing that cruiser and therefore protecting the friendly carrier. And now this force here, they stuck together. They can now just together push in there and win this battle. So I think I'll have to say it so far. It seems like really good team play from Miho's team. Those shots look really nice. Yep. Getting hit in the broadside. And yeah, I guess this Iowa is also in the process of turning, and therefore he is unfortunately showing his broadside at exactly the wrong moment. And he's getting severely damaged for it. And no, they still have a full health Iowa here, I think. I'm not exactly sure what this guy did. Those Iowas, I think they were engaged in this battle down here. But the third Iowa, I think he was most of this time just sticking around the cap. Not exactly sure what his plan was. But if they had taken those 3 Iowas and pushed more aggressively when their team was coming down here from the north, might have won this game. And this salvo will probably kill the Iowa. Oh. I mean, she is burning to death anyway, I guess. And only this one still full health Iowa and a carrier are left. Don't see currently any enemy planes. I have to admit I haven't really paid attention to where they came from so far. I have no idea where the enemy carrier is hiding. But I mean, it really doesn't. They can also just push in and cap by now. This Iowa is still slowly retreating. But it won't really help him all that much. I guess it was... I think it was a really nice battle to watch. I really liked the play of Miho's team here, where they just kind of stuck together, where they... Not sure if it's... You're never sure if it's really a conscious decision of the team or if they just got stuck here, but they didn't push too far. Let's just say they realized that they can't abandon their own cap, and they came back and defend. So they played it really well. And the enemy team, I mean, they had a valid strategy at the beginning. They had a force pushing from the north, and they got into the cap. But then they would have needed to push from two sides and really use that to flank Miho's team. And that's where they failed. I don't know. There's some planes incoming, but it didn't do too much. The enemy carrier, I think, did a good job with spotting destroyers and basically making them miserable.
Problem solved, sir.
And there is the carrier. And this Iowa is still trying to run away from the inevitable. The friendly team is just closing in.
Bullseye.
Decent hits there in the SX. And this looks like a very nice broadside. Shots could potentially end the carrier. And well, they didn't really do that much now, did they? It's unfortunate. At this point, one might also consider just shooting the Iowa, because he is just now presenting such a nice broadside. And he is probably the more dangerous ship at the moment. I mean, I think the Essex is even burning and can't launch planes. And Miho earned high caliber. And he sunk the carrier. So far, Miho is not giving in to temptation. He is still keeping his ship angled. And not Confederate. Very nice. Well, the enemy Iowa is not doing such a good job at angling his ship. He's probably at a point where he's just saying, screw it, I want to shoot all my guns and do some more damage. And oh, the match time is almost over. I didn't even look at that. So it's a win. So let's take a look at the results. Miho 11 got 2,700 base experience, and it was very well played. As I said earlier, I think the team played pretty well, worked good together. And the enemy's tactic might have worked, but they weren't coordinated enough, and so they were caught in a small group and got crushed. Now, also I would say the enemy carrier played really well. What Miho's team had going for them with the matchmaker was more destroyers, and the enemy carrier pretty much denied some of those destroyers opportunities. But yeah, overall, I think it was a very nice battle to watch. Miho got 3 kills, 14 plane kills, 6 Citadel hits. He got Confederate and High Caliber, lots of credits, and he got almost 200,000 damage. So I hope you enjoyed watching this game, and I see you guys next time.